Today we're going to talk about a cozy witchy book, and that book is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandanna, or it could be Mandana. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. I apologize for that. This book follows the story of Sarah Swan, and when she was 15, she was at home and her aunts had passed away and was in the back garden, laying there dead. And there's this fox named Clemmy who had been staying with them. Clemmy's like, I know a resurrection spell. And so they go, and she's 15 at the time, and they resurrect her aunts. And Sarah Swan had been like super promising with her magical powers, one of the most powerful witches that they'd seen in a long time. So this was a big deal and whatnot. And also it's illegal to do resurrection spells. And so she's part of this guild, and she goes to this school for magical kids and whatnot. And there's this guy at the school, Albert Gray, who's like this power-hungry, horrible POS. And she had been his, I guess, protege, but he was also super jealous and like trying to keep her down and all this stuff. So it would be really bad if he found out about this happening. And so he finds out about this happening. And she gets in big trouble. She's banned from the guild. She also, when she does this and resurrects her aunt, she also resurrects a chicken that was buried in the ground who comes back as like a skeletal chicken named Ruru. Her aunt comes back normal. She's not a zombie. She comes back human and nothing is wrong with her. But Sarah loses her place at the guild. And her aunt and her, they live in this house that's called the Batty Hole Inn. And there's a whole history behind it, why it's called Batty Hole. Which is an odd name, right? And so she's kicked out of the guild. She's not allowed to use the library. She lost a lot of her magic when she resurrected her aunt, so she can only do very minimal things now, and so she lost all her power. And Albert Gray was pretty happy about this, and basically he was the one that was like, she needs to be punished and kicked out, and not everyone thought that. They were like, she's 15, her aunt died, like she didn't have anyone else, like, you know, there should be some exceptions, but this guy is an a-hole, so there wasn't. And there was also another professor who tried to like speak up for her, but Albert threatened this woman's job, and so she just kind of let it go. Fast forward 15 years later, we have Sarah, and now she's 30, and she is at this inn, and Clemmy the fox is still there, the fox who had told her how to do the resurrection spell and whatnot, and she really just wants to get her magic back. So her whole life she's been trying to do this, and at this point in time there's some interesting characters that have come to live at the inn. We have a knight named Nicholas. He works for the Ren Fair, so he's not like medieval times knight, but he dresses in armor every day, and he talks in these and thous, and he's like, my lady, I must protect your honor, and this and stuff, and it's cute, and it's cute and quirky and cozy. And there's this weird cast of characters that live at the house. And the aunt's name, I never even said the aunt's name, is Jasmine. There's another older woman that lives there named Matilda, and then also Sarah's cousin Theo. And Theo is studying under the guild, so she starts checking out books under Theo's name and starts to learn more about magic, and eventually she finds that the book that she needs that has a way to regain her magic is in this library of the school. And so she knows what she needs, and so this leads to them trying to get this book. There's like this great caper, so they get the book, but the spell's in like a weird language that nobody knows. So they have the actual spell, and it's a matter of finding someone who can help translate it. And then when they translate it, like the ingredients you need for it seem to be like unfathomable of how to obtain them, if they're even real. But then again, a lot of it's like, you know, it's loosely translated. And what do those things, what could they possibly mean to the person who is casting the spell to try to regain their magic and all of this stuff? And then there's also kind of like a little love story in it too. So, you know, as these cozy books do go, and this is the second book I've read by this author. The first one was like the, what was it called? The Irregular Society, the Very Irregular Society of Witches. And so the love interest in the story is this guy, Luke, and he has an autistic sister who is magical. She won't listen about not using her magic whenever she feels like it. So in society, like the non-magical people, this is not good if she's going to just use her magic around people who don't know that magic is real. And then even at the guild, when she was at the guild, they didn't like how she would use it just haphazardly, and this, that, and the other. And so at some point, Luke ends up at the inn with his sister and kind of finds a place there. And it's a story about found family. It's witchy, it's cute, it's cozy, it's magical. It's a lovely read. If you want something that's kind of like uplifting and feel good, especially like as we get into the colder nights, I think I'm going to do a video about cozy witchy books because I have a lot that I've loved. Like I can think of like 6 off the top of my head that are great. So I think I'm going to do a video about that. Cozy witchy books for the winter season, or just cozy witchy books in general. It can be for any season, but it's sometimes it's nice. Like I read a lot of horror, so I do like to get into some more cozier, a little bit more cheerful type books here and there, and this was definitely one of them. If you haven't had a chance to check out this author, like I said, the 2 books I read I loved and would recommend. Yeah, so if you like witchy cozy books, definitely check it out. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.